Guess what? We have a Patreon now. If you want to support the lab in this way, there'll be a link in the description. And now, onward to the recipe. Hello, Professor Rosemary here and welcome to my lab. You know what's better than baking? Baking for a noble cause. In addition to the lab's 2-year anniversary on YouTube, I tried my hand again at these Fluffy Eevee Pancakes for a charity zine, Pokénoms. This physical zine is a collaboration between many talented artists and recipe contributors, such as yours truly. If you're a fan of Pokemon, food, and Pokemon food, you should definitely check it out. That aside, I'm interested in seeing how far I've come in these past 2 years as a hobbyist Pokemon baker. Plus, I don't want to be a disappointment, so let's not waste any time and jump right into the recipe. Let's start by preparing a simple chocolate mousse for Eevee's head. Heat your whipping cream in a saucepan or in the microwave until it just starts to boil. Then pour the hot cream over your milk chocolate, allow to sit for a few minutes and mix until well combined. If the chocolate doesn't melt completely, heat the mixture over a double boiler or microwave for 10 seconds at a time and mix until completely melted. After that, allow the mousse to cool to room temperature and thicken up. Whip the mousse on medium speed for 1 to 2 minutes until light and fluffy. To shape it into Eevee's head, scoop 2 to 3 tablespoons of the mousse onto some plastic wrap. Wrap it up. Twist the plastic wrap into a tight ball, and shape the mousse with your hands into a hemisphere. If it feels too soft to shape, refrigerate for 5 minutes at a time to firm it up slightly. Once you have your hemisphere, keep it wrapped and refrigerated until needed. Now that we have a head, let's give our Eevee a fluffy pancake body. Start by separating your egg yolks and whites. Make sure not a single trace of egg yolk ends up in the whites, or they won't whip up later. Take your whites and beat until foamy. Then beat in the sugar in 3 steps, making sure the sugar has dissolved before the next addition. After all the sugar has been added, continue beating until soft peaks form, when the tip of the peak bends down slightly after the beaters are lifted up. Back to the yolks. In a separate bowl, whisk them together with your milk and vanilla. Then sift in your flour and baking powder, and mix until there are no lumps of dry ingredients left. Now take 1/3 of your beaten whites and mix it into the yolk mixture. You don't have to be gentle at this stage. After that, add half of the remaining whites and gently fold it in until roughly mixed. Gentle because we want to preserve as much of the foam as we can. Lastly, gently fold in the remaining whites until no white streaks remain. With our batter ready, let's turn it into pancakes. Lightly oil a preheated non-stick pan on medium-low heat. For each pancake, scoop about a 1/4 cup of batter onto the pan, allowing the batter to spread and form itself into a circle. Sprinkle 2 teaspoons of water onto the pan and let it cook covered for 2 to 2.5 minutes, until the surface of the pancake loses its sheen and doesn't look wet anymore. Once so, flip the pancakes, sprinkle 2 more teaspoons of water onto the pan, and cook covered for another 2 to 2.5 minutes. Once done, set aside to cool completely to avoid the toppings melting and sliding off later. Repeat the cooking process until all of the batter is used up, making a bent teardrop-shaped pancake for Eevee's tail as well. To turn our mousse hemisphere into a head, we're gonna need some chocolate features. Melt your chocolate separately over a double boiler or in a microwave. For the latter, microwave on high for 10 seconds at a time and stir. Repeat until completely melted. Draw out Eevee's ears and hair tuft with milk chocolate on some baking paper. I'm using some cut toothpicks here for easier attachment later. When the ears set, draw on the inner ears with dark chocolate. Alright, we have the head features now, but we'll still need some floof or our Eevee will look like this. For that, simply whip together some whipping cream and sugar to a soft peak. Transfer to a piping bag and we're ready to put our little buddy together. Get your fluffy stack going with 3 or 4 pancakes, along with the tail pancake on the side, as well as your fruits. For a more 3D effect, I'm propping up the tail with some whipped cream. Speaking of which, pipe more in a mound to the side of your stack, on the stack itself, and on the tail. Top off the stack with your chocolate mousse and chocolate pieces. For the finishing touch, draw on Eevee's face with more melted chocolate. And with that, we are done! So there you have it, my second attempt at Fluffy Eevee Pancakes from Pokémon Café Remix. It really does feel like the lab has come a long way in a measly 2 years. But nonetheless, the lab and this channel would be nothing without you guys. So to all of you, new and old alike, thank you for your support. So that's all for now. If you made it this far, do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Leave your suggestions in the comments and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.